This conference will now be recorded.
Hello all, welcome to performance testing using NeoLoad. So I would like to quickly walk through on about myself. Okay, so this is a Know Your Instructor. So I'm Naveen Kumar. I'm a certified expert in NeoLoad. I have worked across different domains like retail, banking, finance, insurance, healthcare, life science, telecom, etc. I have over 800 hours of training experience. Okay. So what you can expect from this course, that is the benefits. Okay, so there is going to be a live Q&A sessions. That is for every sessions you can stop me if you're stuck somewhere, if you're not understanding anything. We can have this clarification, and also towards the end of the session, the floor will be open just for Q&A clarifications, and all the sessions are recorded and you will be given access. This is a lifetime access to the recorded sessions. So there is also troubleshooting sessions. Um, okay, so let's say if you are stuck with some a technical issue, uh, be it installation or any issue that you are facing with scripting or setting up a scenario, there is going to be a live troubleshooting session. As in, I will make you a presenter and you can share your screen and we can fix it together. So I'll help you in fixing your issues. Okay. And of course, we will also discuss on how you can clear the professional certification. Okay, so there is going to be a separate meet just on this. I will be providing some guidance. How you can approach to uh, clear this certification. Okay, so about the course content, let's talk about course content. So we will be discussing about some of the key performance testing concepts. Performance testing concepts is the fundamental of any tool. Okay, so we'll be discussing about some of these concepts, and of course, NeoLoad's feature and its functionalities and components of NeoLoad. So there are various components that are involved with NeoLoad. We'll be extensively looking at it, and all of this discussions is going to be practical demonstration and hands-on. Okay, so you will expect less theory and more demonstration and more hands-on. Okay, so further about the course content, so there's going to be a 4 sessions per week minimum. Okay, so you can expect at least we will have a 4 sessions, and each session may go from 1 to 1.5 hours, and total you can expect 18 to 20 sessions. Okay, as a part of this batch. There is also an optional practical lab sessions. Usually, this is conducted on public holiday or during the weekend. Uh, okay, so based on the participants who needs any uh, extensive attention to their, especially if folks who are starting uh, from the scratch, very new to performance testing or very new to NeoLoad, these sessions will help them. Okay, to equip them better. So before we get into installation, so I would like to demonstrate to you. Okay. So if you see this, right, this is from the previous batch. Okay. Usually NeoLoad will have this 3 modules. Okay. Design, runtime, and results. Under design, we will be developing, creating, developing, enhancing these scripts. These are performance test scripts. Okay, so there are variety of performance test scripts with different options. Okay, the enhancements activities like parameterization, correlation, validation, error handling. We'll be discussing about all this, and we will be creating a separate script for to address to explore different um, uh, let's say different aspects about the enhancements. Okay, there is also population. Population is just to it's a collection of user path, or it's a way of grouping the user path. So we will be discussing about population and user paths that can be involved, and population parameters, etc. And there is also some of the monitoring. Okay, so we will create some monitoring machines. So I have created a sample Linux and MySQL. All these are from the previous batch. Okay, I'm just showcasing it to you what you can expect from this course. And runtime. So uh, so uh, when it comes to performance testing, right? Performance testing uh, will have different kinds of testing. Okay, it is not a single kind of test. Under performance testing, based on the objective and purpose, there can be different kinds of tests. Okay, so all this we will be exploring, like smoke test, load test, high load, endurance, stress, spike, peaks, rendezvous. All these we will be creating a separate scenario, and we'll also have some kind of executions. Okay, and we will be discussing extensively on all these scenarios, some of these advanced settings of populations, duration policy, load variation policy, and different kinds of policies that is associated with NeoLoad. We'll be discussing about it, and also there will be a demonstration. If in case if we change some policy, how the execution is going to affect, right? So we will also be discussing about it. And also on the results, right? Results is where we used to analyze the execution. Okay, so we will be working with different execution. All this you can see this, right? So all these are different executions, and you can, so we'll be discussing about it. And also we'll be looking at the results manager as well, like how you see this, right? There are some of these statistics, SLA profiles, filters, comparison, generating a report, applying an SLA profile. Okay, so this is what you can expect from this this course. In additional to that, we will also be discussing about this NeoLoad Web. Okay, NeoLoad Web, or it's a it's called as SaaS version. Okay, which is a software as a service. Okay, so we'll be also discussing about this part. So how you can establish a connection between this NeoLoad tool, that is from your local to the SaaS version. So we'll also be looking at some of these settings, um, and this access tokens, how you can configure it, some of these tests, how you can create a test. Okay, um, so under a test, what all the different, so the configuration about these tests, how you can select the scenario, or how you can design a scenario using this SaaS version itself. And there are zones, that is near-load cloud or static cloud, uh, right? Static machines. Okay, so we'll also be discussing about it. And of course, the test results, uh, where how you can the same way, right? So here, this is in the from the controller, how, right? So how the execution is, so this is only the access is only with the local. Okay, but this is on the let's say on the cloud, right? Or on this SaaS version. Okay, anybody who has this link can access these results. Okay, so how you can access it, and also I will show you how you can generate a report, and then draw some observation out of it. Okay, so we'll also be discussing something on the NeoLoad web. Okay, so any questions? Anybody has any questions so far?
Which is the difference between actually LoadRunner and NeoLoad? So in the
Mhm.
market, which one is good right now?
Right now, see if you see, right, both has different. different pros and cons. Okay, if we take LoadRunner was the industry leader with performance, right, with load testing or performance testing. LoadRunner has a lot of protocol support. Okay, that is it. It varies from true client web, Citrix ICA, COM, and there have n number of protocols that LoadRunner offers. Okay, so if there is a specific requirement from the protocol perspective, then of course there is no other choice. Have to go with LoadRunner. But if it is any web HTTP, HTML, or even similar to TrueClient, there is a NeoLoad also has come up uh, with a protocol called Real Browser, and NeoLoad also has different kinds of protocol. Okay, so if the project, and most of the project is only with web. Okay, very few projects needs this the other protocol support. Okay, and and if we look at the tech stack about any project, right, the projects usually with Angular, or let's say called as a single paged complex sophisticated applications, maybe it needs a real browser. Okay, so we cannot make an eye to eye comparison between these two tools. um,
But
from Mhm.
both are you need to purchase that tool, right?
Yes, yes, both are proprietary, and you have to invest. um yeah, you have to spend on invest on these tools. Load runner, what I hear from the market is it is at least three times expensive than neoload. Okay,
Yeah.
and LoadRunner learning curve is more. That is, on an average, you have to spend at least 4 to 6 months to understand from the scripting side, because it is all codes. It is not a codeless design like how NeoLoad offers. See, NeoLoad, if you see any script, right? See, this is one script I'm just opening. So these are different transactions. Okay, so all these are simple codeless design. This is
So
what we
do you
are
need,
seeing.
no need to record any coding language?
It is not required. Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
So you don't need to learn any coding, but uh, learning something on the JavaScript will be helpful, right? If you want to do something out of the box, let's say you want to write some data to a file, or you want to do some arithmetic operations on the fly, maybe it is required. But most of the times it is just the end user simulation is the goal for any scripting. So it may not be required. Okay, but with that is not the case with LoadRunner. You should have um, some programming background like C or C++, something like that, so that you can understand how the structure or the syntax that LoadRunner, that action.c file creates. Okay,
okay.
okay. So I would like to demonstrate one simple workflow. Okay, I'm going to create a new project. Okay, um, so let's call this as um, okay. So this is how you can create a new project. You can go to file and click on new.
Uh, Sorry to interrupt. Can you just bigger your screen?
Sorry.
Can you make the bigger your screen?
I
But actually, off of
think I
screen
cannot.
we are able to see.
Oh, yeah, I can do it. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Uh, One moment. Let me. Can you see my full screen, or how is it?
Not
Yeah.
sure actually what happening. All participating in the top in the middle between your screen.
Okay.
So whenever you
Uh,
increase that font size, right? So off of the we are able to see, but not sure entire screen will be visible or not. That not sure.
One moment. Let me reshare. Okay. How about now?
Yeah, but whenever we increase that font size, right, maybe we are not able to see screen. Right now we are able to see very small screen, but
Okay.
when we increase that, so the screen was we are not able to. So half of the
No,
screen we are
this
able
is,
to
I
see.
think, some bug with the new load. Okay, so if I go
Oh,
to results, so the font gets messed up.
okay.
Okay, so let
Uh-huh.
me restart new load. Yeah. So meanwhile, it restarts. If you have any clarifications,
And in the NeoLoad, which language is supported? Actually, suppose if you go for LoadRunner, the C, C plus language, right? So the
mhm.
scripting coding. So in NeoLoad,
Okay. So the underlying language which NeoLoad is developed is using Java.
okay.
Okay, but it can support any web applications.
Mhm. Is it supported to .NET applications also?
Any application that can work on browser, it will support. But then there are some natural combination of tech stack, right? If some will work best from web protocol, some will not work with it. So I can also see Ellie has asked a question. uh, NeoLoad can be used in single page application. Yes, of course it can be used. So any application which has a lot of let's say it is loaded with graphical representation, or I will show you uh, some example as well. Okay, so let's continue. So you can see my screen, right? So uh, so to create a new project, you have to go to file and click on new, and then give any name, your desired name, and then this gets uh, the new project gets created. Okay, so I'm going ahead to with the recording. I'll click on this start recording. Okay, so before I jump into the recording, I would like to show you a simple workflow. Okay, so this is uh, uh, the project, or this is the application that we are going to look at. Okay, so simply I'm going to launch this application. Okay, launch, and I will click on fish, which is some category. Okay, and then I will select the angel fish, then I will select the item, and then I'll come back to home page. Okay, so this is the workflow that I'm going to work with. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm selecting, so let's say I just provide the name as JPEG, and so we'll discuss further. So so this, as far as this course is concerned, we are only going to work with web protocol. Okay, we also have a separate course which is extensively discussed on real browser protocol. Okay, so I'll discuss uh, towards the end of the session, like on what, where you have to use web protocol and where you have to use real browser protocol. Okay, so I'll just go ahead. I'll use Microsoft Edge. I think Internet Explorer is decommissioned. Okay, so I'll just clicking on OK. Okay, so let's see. I think this got closed. Just a moment.
So you need to record any path also, right? URL path, not required.
I know it did not get started. Let me re restart. Give Internet Explorer. It is not getting started. Let's use Google Chrome. I just don't wanted to close any of these sessions, but then I have no choice. Close it. I don't understand. It is not getting. It is not launching. So since this 9.2 facing this issue, okay, I think I have to check on this.
Otherwise, already open the browser, right? Can you close that?
No, the recording uh, is getting close. Just a moment.
Okay.
Let me retry with this. Okay, now it is changed. Oops. Okay, let's go back to the new project. Okay, start recording. Keep it. Okay. So what right now we are seeing is this is called as a recording bar. Okay, and NeoLoad has launched an instance that is so this is a Google Chrome instance. Okay, so whatever we browse with this instance simply gets recorded. Okay, so NeoLoad has created a proxy server. Okay, and then it keeps monitoring the network traffic and then translates into a script. Okay, so let's so we have to provide this transaction name, right? So we will also discuss deep dive into this, what is this transaction, as we progress. Okay, so I'm just simply pasting the URL that I'm going to check launch. So launching this. Okay, this has launched. So that my next transaction is on clickfish. On this clickfish, and maybe next is click angel fish. Click on this angel fish and select an item. Let's say click arch angel fish EST1. Okay, and then I decide to come back to home page. Okay, on this. Okay, so this is my workflow. So I have recorded. So after recording, I'm just clicking on stop button. Okay, so after we click on this stop button, we will get this is called as a post recording wizard. Okay, so these are the uh, links that it got recorded during the recording. Okay, so we have to be careful on what needs to be so some of them will not be a part of the performance testing scope. Okay, we have to remove them. Okay, so let me remove this content autofill. This is not a part of it. Telemetry no, ghost tree no, more ghost trees, accounts.google.com, jive, edge. So this is required. This is a part of the project, and rest all is some unwanted links. Okay, this cannot be a part of the scope. Okay, so uncheck all the ones that is not a part of it. Simply click next. So we will discuss about it as we go. For now, I'm skipping this step. Okay, so I'm going to use the recorded think time, keep it default, and then click on finish. Okay, so this is the script. I'm going to expand all. Okay, so this is what we see under launch. These many requests that it got recorded. Okay, so let me go to uh, Google Chrome. Okay, and I'm going to bring up the Google Chrome developer tool. Okay, so to bring up the developer tool, you can use a shortcut Control Shift I, or you can click on these three dots, go to more tools, and then click on this developer tools. Okay, so I'm going to launch this web page. Okay, so whatever that is going on in the back end, okay, that is under the network tab, you can see this catalog.action is the first uh, the main request, okay, that it gets launched, and then followed by there are a series of requests and its responses, and then again subsequent requests also get launched. So if you see this, right, what are these are the uh, resources that is making up this page. Okay, you can see there is fish.gif, all gifs, images, pngs, all these are of non-HTML resources. So if I just simply uh, see this, right, this fish image, and there is parrot image, and there is more. You see this kind of small images, and there are links, uh, right, all gets loaded here. Okay, as you can see, the same way here also we can see it in the scripting side. Okay, so this will be called as an individual request, and there is it, a certain pattern. Okay, as you can see, this is the recorded request. Okay, so we will also be discussing on what is this request and its
Naveen, can you hear me?
response. Mhm. Yeah, hello. Somebody have any questions?
No, no, go ahead.
Okay, fine, fine. So we will be discussing how we can create a script, enhance it, and then uh, translate this into a scenario and execute it, and then how to identify the performance bottlenecks. Okay, the complete the entire uh, performance testing, right, the goal is to identify the bottlenecks. The bottlenecks can appear uh, in in a specific transaction, or a component, or the infrastructure, or even a product integration, right? Um, so we will, as we progress, right, we will be discussing more interesting topics. But now I would like to open the floor for questions. If you have any questions and clarifications, please ask me. And you can also use the chat box in case if you cannot speak.
Hello, Naveen.
Feel free to use the chat box. Yeah. Yes, Hari.
Hello.
Yeah, please tell me. I can hear you.
Hello.
I can hear you, but your voice is little distorted.
Hello.
Yes,
Go ahead,
now it's
please.
clear.
Can you hear me, Naveen?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So what about the VNC connected to the NeoLoad?
What is that?
VNC connector to the NeoLoad. Is it a separate server?
Uh-huh.
Actually, my company using the NeoLoad with VNC server.
Okay.
Okay, so what is the VNC? Actually, they are saving all the files, scenario files into the VNC connector. Actually, uh, I'm not aware about.
Mhm.
I don't have full knowledge on the VNC connector, but they must uh, switch on that VNC connector. Then they
Mhm.
can play any recording in the NeoLoad.
Correct. See, what I'm presuming is this VMC, right? See, nowadays, if you can see, uh, the applications can be largely divided into two groups. One is let's say, a small scale or medium scale application. Another one is an enterprise level applications, right?
Hmm.
So different projects will have different kinds of infrastructure. So in that, one of them is this VMC. Um, so this is kind of uh, let's say like a cloud or like kind of a virtual machine, right? Where your all your scenarios or all your project gets uploaded. And may I know whether if it is using a CI/CD pipeline kind of job that it runs daily? Are you aware of
Hmm.
those details?
No, actually, very recently, just I am into the NeoLoad team. Okay.
Are they using GitHub?
Actually, they have some AWS environment, I mean, but really, I don't know about the pipelines. So what kind of pipelines they are using? Maybe the cloud,
Okay.
AWS cloud, or maybe the GitHub or
o-
Jenkins. Really, I'm
mm,
not aware about it. But VNC is the viewer. Whatever you said, that is correct. That is the virtual machine. We can
mm,
see that the project screen. I mean, recording scenarios, everything it is there. The
correct, correct.
folders, everything. Yeah.
You need to run all the jobs that VMC server. Okay, they are given separate VMC server. So where you
Mhm.
create all the scripts and execution, everything you need to execute that VMC server. That is a separate server. It is like a desktop. So they are give separate environment. You need to
Mhm.
prepare all the scripts and everything. If there is an CI/CD process, maybe Jenkins and your GitHub, you need to upload all the scripts in the particular folders. In whenever you require, you can call to that particular scripts. You can run it. VMC is a
Okay.
separate. It is like a separate. It is like a separate desktop.
It's just like a
Kind of
remote
a
machine. Yeah,
uh-huh. Okay.
it's just like a
if
So
remote
you
we
if
machine,
you
but
run if you run more scripts in the in your local desktop, you can't do, right? So there is a some restrictions. So there is given separate environment. It is like a virtual desktop. So in that case, you need to prepare all the scripts and everything. You need to run it the particular through VMC server.
oh, okay. Okay. Kind of a desktop.
Exactly.
Virtual.
So in the
Okay.
desktop, in your local desktop, maybe maximum 4 GB RAM or 8 GB RAM, right? So in the VMC
Mhm.
service separately, they purchase it. They're highly configuration. So you need to run all the tests in the separate environment.
Okay.
so Hari, this helps in. So why they have this kind of setup, right? Um, you are aware of. See, let's say if you want to execute for 5,000 users, and then you have another requirement to run 8,000 users. Okay.
Exactly.
Then what happens? Your LG may not handle them. Okay, but with VMC you can customize it as per the requirement, and you can increase it or decrease it the configuration, and you can also cater to it. But may I know whether if it is a BFS, which domain this your application is hosted? Domain means I'm asking whether if
Banking
is it a
domain or
healthcare,
any insurance domain.
healthcare, yeah, healthcare, banking, insurance.
It is networking domain.
It is network. Oh, okay, okay, interesting. Because only like some folks, like some of the domains, right, where they are seeking for highly secured environment. That is, um, it it has
Banking.
to run only within a specific. I mean, they have a lot of security compliance. Okay, so even so that is why they will somehow employ this VMCs, but and nowadays everything is on cloud. There are also private cloud providers. There is NeoLoad itself, they have their own cloud. Uh, and you can also have your on-premise cloud. Different kinds of infrastructure is coming up now, like which has more options, right? Like how you see nowadays, any SUV car, right? It has a lot of options. Uh, I keep hearing nowadays, any car that comes with has like 18 to 20 different options, with different powertrain or whatever the feature. Similarly, even with the tech, uh, things are evolving.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. um,
Most of the banking application they'll give you separate environment.
Yes, banking is very, they're highly compliant, and that is why they will everything has to go with through their network, uh,
Exactly.
uh, right? So, and if there is any, I mean, they don't want to, get into a situation where their data is leaked, or some kind of a breach happens. So that is why they are very compliant about this part. Even healthcare and pharmaceuticals as well, to a certain extent, they invest more uh, time and money into uh, keeping it secured environment.
Okay.
So about this single page applications, right, which Eli asked a while back. um, so what are this? See, there are different kinds of single page, that is complex applications. Okay, so one of the application I would like to share it with you is this. I think you are aware of it. Mac Cosmetics. Mac Cosmetics is one of the popular. Let's just a moment. I would like to open the .com mm, web, web page. Okay. Okay. So it is. So there are different kinds of makeup, or this beauty oriented businesses. Okay, if you see this, right, uh, these businesses is highly dependent on the non-HTML resources. Okay, as you can see, it has to be fully of, it has to be colorful, and it uses a variety of images, and the web page takes a lot of time to just load. And you see this, right? If I simply hover, so they have a lot of scripts also written. Like if I hover the mouse, it has to do something, um, right? Scroll, you see all this, and you see this, right? The resources, and it's still loading. And they will also employ some of the client side requirement, something like lazy loading and minification, uh, uh, merging multiple scripts. Okay, so that the user experience will be better. Okay, so this is
Sorry
one
to
such.
interrupt you
Mm.
in mid. So I just want to confirm, is this session is for 1 hour?
uh, no, we are just discussing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
For
I'm
1 hour
just
discussion.
discussing. Yes, yes.
No, no,
I
no.
mean, the demo
Actually,
is done.
my
Huh?
demo is done. Okay, so because I have few questions like related to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
demo. See,
Please, please, please
basically this is a
continue.
neo load. Okay, which is
Hmm.
basically I think we are focusing on the performance testing, right? Or load testing.
Correct, correct.
So,
For, yeah.
you have like 2 to 3 pages, like you are shuffling from one page to another page. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
by this recording, let's say we want to check the load of 50 users. 50 concurrent users are using the same application and they are just clicking here and there. So
Hmm.
how will we ensure that these web pages will work properly and there is no like performance issue?
Okay, good question. So to answer this question, I'm just opening the previous batch
Mm-hmm.
project. okay, how we will work with. Okay, so the first part is the scripting. Okay, that
Mhm,
is, we have to work with the scripting, and under the
mhm,
scripting there are three key aspects. One is correlation,
mhm,
parameterization, and assertion.
mhm,
Okay,
mhm,
correlation is to used to handle the dynamic values which is returned from the server.
mhm.
Parameterization are the user defined values, and assertion is the validation. Okay, to
Okay.
this ensures that we are validating uh, the script. I just want to see where the validation I have applied, or let me bring up this. Okay, okay, I have applied in the previous session validation on here. Okay, see if we can see this, right? The I have used, okay, I'm just showing something. Okay, we will learn
Mhm.
all these things. Okay, see,
Okay.
this is a regular expression, but
Mhm,
then a simple validation also can be done.
mhm,
Okay, a direct validation. Okay, so if this is a page response. Okay,
mhm,
so for every page will have some response, and you can
mhm,
select any of this text to validate. Okay, so here
mhm,
in this case, okay, I'm using welcome and then ABC. Okay, I mean this is
mhm.
giving welcome
This is
ABC.
update. Mhm,
But then see if Sakshi is logging in,
mhm.
it will say like welcome Sakshi. If Naveen is logging
Okay.
in, it will say welcome Naveen, right? So that
Mhm,
to cater to whichever user who is logging, I've implemented some a simple regular expression here. Okay, these things we will learn. So using this, we can validate the web page that whichever that new load is logging in. Okay, and this
So
runtime,
basically,
right?
this yeah. So it just like you have tell correlation, assertion, and validation. These three things that
Mm,
we need to take care of it. Okay. So
mhm.
like how we said that if suppose there are 50 users, I want to check the load of 50 users. Okay.
Yes,
So
I'm coming
like
here.
50 user in the real time, they are logging into the system in a via different system. They are not like testing with one system. Okay. So how you create, how we can create that use case that if we want to validate 50 concurrent user using the application and we ensure that the application is working fine in terms of load.
That is
Correct.
entire that is entire
No, see,
separate part.
yes, yes. See, what you're asking is on the NFR, that is a requirement gathering. Okay. So for this, this is not a straightforward answer. Okay, for
Okay,
this,
okay.
we also have to discuss with the like multiple stakeholders. Okay, so here
Mm-hmm,
a project owner, product owner, a manager, functional testers, architects, principal devs.
mm-hmm,
So we have to have a collective discussion with them, right, to
mm-hmm,
understand what is the purpose and objective of that particular project, how many users that they are looking for, whether have they done any performance testing already in their project,
mm-hmm,
all those questions. So once you have all this discussion, so based on the answer we can take a call. So generally any project, right, there's called as like benchmarking, and then there is baselining, right?
mm-hmm,
I mean, so all these things we will learn as we progress with the sessions. Okay,
mm-hmm,
and even with the kind of workflow also we can be also divided into unauthenticated and authenticated. So
mm-hmm,
there are some discussions that we have to work. So based on these information, okay, so let's say the business is saying this is a new application, and we want to have maybe a like you said, right, like 50 users. Okay, if something is a
mm-hmm,
new application, then we have to uh, you know check with the application, like a kind of a benchmarking. We have to do some iterative
mm-hmm,
rounds of executions with various user loads to see and which environment that you're working with. That also matters. So if you're maybe most of the projects, they only provide stage environment or UAT environment, which is a
mm-hmm,
downgraded version of a production environment. Production is always will be different. right?
Mhm.
Like production will have like some 10 server boxes with you know, 4 cores each, something like that, which is
Yeah, yeah. So basically,
okay,
yeah, that is required actually the way we are having our
correct,
production environment. So we can only
right.
validate the load with the
Yes,
same server configuration.
yes, if we
Otherwise, we
have a
won't be able
production
to
like
get the
environment,
response. Yeah.
correct, correct. If we have a production like environment, we can also do it,
Mm-hmm.
or else we have to just understand what is
Mm-hmm.
the, in case if the stage environment we have given with stage environment, what, how
Mm-hmm.
much degradation that has happened compared
Mm-hmm.
to production. So all these are
Okay.
like, you have to, like we have to you know, approach the right person. So nowadays I'm seeing there is a separate team, dedicated team, who is just working on servers. They
Mm-hmm.
only take care of the infrastructure, they will not do any
Mm-hmm.
other activity. Only
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure, spin up the environment, work with it. In case if they have any if they are finding any issues, they will restart it, or they will try to fix it. So it's a,
Mm-hmm.
so you know, more and more so as things are getting complex, right? So it's like for example, like a doctor field. So if you see 4 decades before, there used to be only a doctor, like a, just an MBBS. Okay, then
Mm-hmm.
as the you know, technological advancements happened, now we see there are
Mm-hmm.
specialists, right? There is neurosurgeon, there are like, you know, very specific niche you know, skills are coming up now. Similarly here also
Mm-hmm.
there are separate team is getting formed, right?
Okay.
But then this is a vast topic, Sakshi.
Yes, yes. So it's simply just like because there are a lot of tools available in the market. Okay, so
Yeah, yes,
in terms of performance or in terms of load testing. So
correct.
I just want to like
Now,
finding
if
a
there is
way
a,
to buy. Yeah.
yeah, if
Sorry.
you have a small company, you can decide all these things. If you're in a big company, there is a separate team. So
Team, yes,
network is
but
different. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
infrastructure scheme is different. So your job is
yeah,
only for preparing scripting. You're putting the load. Server side, they will take care. Most of
yes,
the
yes,
people
yes,
in big organizations. Small
yeah,
organization, you
but
need to give the recommendations. Yeah,
yes, yes, but in some time, what happens if you create the scripts? Okay, so there are a lot of functionality in the application. Okay, so they want to check it because all in all, what we are doing here, we are recording here, and there is some other way like we used to do this thing via API as well.
exactly.
So my question is like API or this recording,
Okay, see,
which approach
yes,
is
yes.
appropriate to check
To
the load?
answer that question, right? See, if you look at from the API perspective, that is just an interface which is being a bridge between two different entities. Okay, so API testing itself is a separate topic. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but if we want to have a performance testing which also addresses the user experience, then you have to go with this recording. That is because this is
Recording.
a real user simulation. Okay,
Okay.
it's like as if 1,000 users sitting on 1,000 computers and trying to
Mm-hmm.
work. See, that's all it is happening, right? If
Yeah,
you look
yeah.
at any enterprise applications, right? When I say
Mm-hmm.
enterprise application, see, even this is an enterprise application.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon.in, Amazon.com is an enterprise level applications. At
Mm-hmm.
any given time, Amazon receives millions of orders for
Mm-hmm.
every 1 minute or every seconds even, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so you just think about it, like uh,
Yes, yes.
so as we speak, Amazon is getting another millions of orders. So it's like that. So
Mm-hmm.
anywhere people are just making the orders or at least browsing the application, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is something uh, that we have to simulate. See, the when
Yes.
I opened this Amazon, what happened, it within 3 seconds time, it gave me a response,
Yeah.
isn't it? So this is how they have. So it's like that's what, to answer this,
Okay.
if you
Okay.
want
I
to
got it.
also
Yeah.
continue, if you also have to focus on the user experience, okay,
Mm-hmm.
then you have to go with
It
the recording and
record.
simulate it. But if you just want to focus only on the API, let's say,
Mhm.
Amazon has something called as identity. Okay.
Mhm.
See, for this, right, sign in. If I click on sign in, okay, this sign in itself is a separate component. It's a separate application, I would say. Okay. So, uh, so if we see this, right, just a moment. Okay. So generally, this is called as an identity, and this will work as a separate entity. Okay.
Mhm.
So when you are authenticating your user credentials, it has to go to identity component and then comes back to this page. That is the shop page. Okay. So there, what is happening? A simple exchange of messages is happening between two different
Mhm.
entities now. Okay. So if your focus is only on that particular interface, then API
Mhm.
is meaningful. Okay. But if your
Okay.
focus is on complete user experience, then you have to
Mhm.
go ahead with this. I hope I've answered
Recording
that
a
question.
script. Yes,
Yes.
yes. So basically, currently, actually, I'm working with a Jmeter
Okay.
for the recording and as well as the API. And this is a NeoLoad. I just want to know. So,
Mhm.
what do you suggest that which tool is good?
Yes.
Because
See,
No,
there
as
are
as
Azure
it was,
tools as well. There are LoadRunner.
mm,
Other tools are also
correct,
there.
correct. Yes.
based on the
Again,
company
to
budget.
answer, yeah. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely right. Good
Yeah.
catch.
Yeah.
Company
See,
having more
not
money,
just
then it goes
the
on.
uh, uh, okay. See, not just the budget. Okay. But yes, of course, that also affects, it also determines like how much that the company wants to is willing to invest. But then there are some applications, right? See, for example, Pega, Adobe
Mhm.
Flex, Salesforce
Mhm.
Lite, Salesforce, there is another version which is a bigger
Mhm.
version of Salesforce. There is
Mhm.
Siebel, right? Applications like this, you have no options but to invest, because these are highly complex applications. You will anywhere, you will see like 100 dynamic values, okay, to work with. So if the company is not willing to invest on such kind of complex applications, then uh, Jmeter is not suitable for such applications. Okay. So you have to go with LoadRunner or NeoLoad. And also the protocols, right? The protocol also takes a role here. Let's say if the protocol that you're working has some special requirements like Citrix ICA or True Client Web, then again here you are left with no choice but to invest. But here investing is how much how much they are willing to invest. Okay. So if there
Mhm.
is no option, see, it's like this, right? To run a car you need four wheels.
Mhm.
So without one wheel you cannot run it, right? So it's like that.
Yes.
It may be shrewd example, but
Okay, okay.
so
Because we we
so
we create the scripts like in
mm.
the recording script in the JMeter as well.
Yeah,
May I
yeah.
know the tech stack of your application? I can now only tell whether which tool is best fit
Okay,
for
so
your
basically
application.
in our application we do have a lot of transactions data, and we used to get approx like 10 lakh, 20 lakh transaction per day, or it
Uh,
can be like 1
That is
million or 10
okay.
million.
But
yes,
what
yes.
is that domain?
Uh,
It is
uh,
supply chain.
okay, it's a
Ah,
supply
yes.
chain, and the tech stack is like, see, when I'm asking about tech stack, like the front end, whether if they're using
Okay,
Java or
okay,
Spring
so
Boot.
no, it's a .NET and
Okay, it's a
AngularJS.
.NET applications and oh, Angular JS. Okay, see, I'll tell
Yes,
you.
Angular.
See, generally with Angular JS, Angular 10, React JS, you might face some difficulty, right? Because when you are loading the page,
Mhm.
the first instance itself, the entire page gets loaded. Okay. And then the user is trying to navigate with an already existing loaded page. Okay. It's just a kind of a, I would say, the display trick, right? How the page has to load. Okay, in
Mm-hmm.
whether are you facing any difficulty with scripting with uh,
Yeah,
Jmeter?
actually, there is not as such. Basically, we try different kind of use cases like via API testing,
Mm.
via like recording scripts. But somehow I'm not confident. Is it actually telling me that the performance is good or not?
Okay.
I'm not
Uh,
confident
any
with
idea
by
on
doing
the
this.
uh,
Yeah,
any idea on the authentication protocol? When
yeah.
I
So
say
we do have
authentication, uh,
authorization authorize, so we used to we use the key session ID and all, so generally we pass that session ID, we create the login script, and then we pass into the next to get the
uh,
next page detail.
yes, yes. See, I'm asking about the authentication protocol, like Okta, OAuth 2, Bearer,
Okay, okay, auth 2,
uh,
auth 2.
OAuth 2, Auth 2.
Mm.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Again, I think they see these protocols also plays some role, right? Because you will
Yes.
face difficulty in logging in. So if you're
Yes.
facing
Yes. Yes.
issue with the logging in itself, then that's it, like you cannot work with those applications. It's like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there is also this NTLM negotiate and few other protocols which is highly complex in nature.
Mm-hmm.
um, but I mean, maybe if you're facing any issue, I can simply check in some time. uh, okay. uh, but then by looking, so you have to do some POCs, like you
Yes.
can install
We are doing.
NeoLoad. Yes, yes, you can
Okay.
install NeoLoad the same way how
Okay.
I demonstrated.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you can create a simple script and then try
Mm-hmm.
to develop with that. Uh,
Okay.
so in 1 week time, right, we will be discussing about some key concepts, and then
Mm-hmm.
maybe we will start with the correlation itself, because correlation is very important, and that
Mm-hmm.
correlation alone takes 80% of the scripting effort. So we will discuss, and you can also try to work with it, and you can also decide. So if your project or company is on enterprise level, if they can
Mm-hmm.
invest, then you can also make some proposal to them, right? But working with Angular 10, Angular JS with web protocol, sometimes you will find some difficulty uh, in uh,
Yeah.
in in completing the script. So with
Mm-hmm.
Angular, usually it is preferred to client web or real browser. But then,
Mm-hmm.
it depends. Also your authentication protocol and what other components that are involved in your project, that also takes a role. And this is how you can propose, or you can determine which tool that you are
Mm-hmm.
going to work with, right? Uh, of course,
Yes.
everyone will push for open source, but then there will be some limitations with open source tools like Jmeter and other tools. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, you're welcome. um, okay. Any other questions or any other clarifications? You can also use chat box to chat. So I see Ranjan. Hi, Ranjan. uh, so you've been patiently listening to us. So do you have any clarification? So I don't think we can hear you. I can see you have unmuted. Okay. Uh, so anybody else have any questions?
No, right now.
No. Yeah. So we will wrap up
So
today's session. Yes.
in that section, uh, is there any you're telling that
Mhm.
any concept for third party tool when you're putting that load?
Any
I
concept
mean
for third
server.
party too?
No. So when you're putting the load, right? So while monitoring, so are you using any tool?
Tool?
Yeah, in third party monitoring tool while running the test.
No, this
Okay.
is only focused to cater the only on NeoLoad we are going to discuss, not going to divert.
Okay.
Hmm?
Good.
Okay. Okay. So yes, it was nice talking to you, Tirupati, Sakshi, and also
Thanks.
Hari. Yeah. Thanks
Same
for your
here.
inputs.
Thank
I
you.
see one more question, or
Yeah.
Ellie is asking how it mocking. Okay, that's another question. Good question. Uh, See, the entire performance is all about the request and its corresponding responses. Okay, so if you see, all these are requests. Okay, so a request is sent to the server, and the server responds to the client. Again, we will be discussing all this part also as we progress. Okay, so
Yeah.
so yes, thank you all for joining. So we will have a continued session, and we will yeah,
Thank
Yep.
you.
we'll catch up tomorrow. Yeah,
Bye.
thank
Yep.
you, thank you. Have a
And
nice day.
sorry, I have one more question. Could you give me a link to set up the new load? Because yeah, I'm very new here, so I'm just trying to understand today. So I think if I
Okay,
download all this one, so it will help me.
okay. You can go here, go to Google,
Yeah.
and just type support hub NeoLoad. So you can go to this support hub, and towards the left side you see this. Oh, sorry, I have clicked on wrong one. See this, right? Tricentis
Mm-hmm.
NeoLoad. Go here and click on this downloads, and you will be you can download any. I I suppose you are on Windows 64-bit architecture, so you can click on this to download. We will look at installation in the upcoming session. That is tomorrow only. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you have anything else to study by this time before starting to our class?
No, 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 not at this point of time. We will continue with some sessions, and then we will be providing you the access to the project artifacts. Okay,
Okay.
the session. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a nice day.